Welcome to another Holistic Nomads Insta Live. This week's topic is something that I'm very interested in, which is about detoxification and poop.
We're here in Bali. We're at the Shanti Agung Retreat Centre teaching with Gwen Williams.
Himana is teaching Ayurveda in relation with Zentai Shiatsu.
It's the Zentai Shiatsu school from Australia. It's come over here to do an advanced bodywork retreat.
Cool.
Start first with the importance of detoxification and elimination from the bowels. So the colon is one of the ways in which we get toxins out of the body, and it's a super important area that we need to have evacuation from every day. According to Ayurveda, the ideal time to evacuate the bowels is in the morning time, either just before sunrise or just after you get up. Any of those times is ideal, or just getting up close to sunrise. It's where we will eliminate the easiest in the morning, and if you're not naturally evacuating as soon as you wake up, then we need to start working with either lifestyle or food or herbal medicine to make sure that elimination is happening easily. Ayurveda would recommend Triphala for that. It's tri meaning three and phal meaning fruit, three different fruits that go together that are very strengthening and toning for the bowels and the digestive system. So if we take a little bit of Triphala at night, we'll usually encourage the bowels to move in the morning. It has very little contraindications. It can be taken by all body types and constitutions. It's wonderful to strengthen the bowel, and it's a gentle laxative that's not addictive. So about half to 1 teaspoon at night in some warm water, and it tastes really gross. So if you're not into gross tasting things, then get it in capsules, or you can put a mouthful of water in your mouth and then just take a quarter of a teaspoon and put that in and then swallow it down, so you don't have to taste it so much.
I usually eat a lot of that every time I eat cheesecake the day before.
After cheesecake, need for detoxification.
But I think that's a good point to say about, even though Triphala tastes disgusting, but it actually also have the benefits of like eating it in powder. Can you explain more of that, about the taste?
Whenever we taste something, part of the medicinal action is the taste that we receive inside the mouth. Tasting something makes the body go, oh, this is what I'm going to be taking internally. So it enables us to digest it easier. It also has astringent properties to it, which help draw the tissue together and strengthen the tissue. So it means it's starting to do that astringency and strengthening from the mouth down. Triphala is used to strengthen the gums and prevent bleeding inside the gums and those things. So being able to take it in the mouth means it's going to start strengthening the whole tubes of the esophagus tract as it goes down.
So the Triphala has, there are 6 tastes, medicinal tastes in Ayurveda. Triphala has 5.
5 of those.
Which are sweet,
sour, not salty, pungent, bitter, and astringent.
So if after that you taste strongly certain taste, that means that's what you need to have more in your diet.
That's one of the tastes that you would ideally need more. One of the ways they believe about Triphala. At the same time, if it's so disgusting that you're just not taking it, take the capsule. It's still going to have its effect and be beneficial on the way through.
Detoxification is very important, and for someone dominant Vata like me, why does dominant Vata have a tendency to not having regular bowel movement?
Vata is one of these 3 doshas from Ayurveda, and it guides the intelligence in the body that's related to movement. So any of the movement processes in the body, Vata is influencing that, including the movement of peristalsis, that's the digestive tract movement as it goes through, elimination from the colon. Vata is guiding and influencing that. It's related to the nervous system in some way. So if you just want to stick with Western anatomy, when I say Vata, you can sort of think of the nervous system as well. And each of these doshas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha, have a location inside the digestive tract where they call it its seat. It's the place where the dosha likes to live, where it can perform its function from easily, and then if it becomes excessive, it will build up in that location and then spread to another site of the body. Whenever that happens, it'll start to create disease in other parts of the body. So the seat, the location for Vata is primarily the colon. This is the last part of the digestive system where we eliminate and detoxify. We get rid of the excess wastes that we have. So if Vata starts to become destabilized, then the colon doesn't function as well. One of the qualities that destabilizes Vata is excess movement and dryness and cold. And any of these three
what I
things,
usually experience.
so
Tendency.
moving, traveling will start to imbalance the colon. Dryness, dry foods or dry skin will start to imbalance the colon. And cold environments will also mean, it's a bit harder to let go easily.
There's this thing that I usually laugh about when, I travel and stay in someone's place, a friend's house. I cannot having, bowel movement for days. So that's another Vata quality.
So then she takes her Triphala at those times, and then hopefully the bowels start to come back on sooner.
Yeah. So that's the seat of Vata. Is that also how it relates to that Vata people have a tendency to have bloating in the colon?
Yep, they'll tend towards bloating in the lower belly, sort of a feeling of fullness and swelling in the flanks between the ribs and the hips in this region of the body will tend to fill up, more chances of gas and those things forming in the colon as well. And because Vata relates to the nervous system, it also has a strong relationship to the mind. So the health of the colon highly influences the health of the mind. How easy and peaceful we are in the mind will again, vice versa, influence the colon and our elimination function. So we really need to have a healthy colon to maintain a healthy and a stable mind.
Okay. Which is both a challenge for Vata.
Both challenges for Vata. So.
I think last week I saw this advertisement on Facebook, the best way of detoxification, colonics, and then it's talking about, the common type of water, colonics irrigation. What do you think, from Ayurveda perspective? I'm not sure about naturopathic. Is it also something that is done in naturopathic?
Yeah, in naturopathic medicine they also use colonics as well. It depends on where you're trained and those things. So I'll talk a little bit about first an enema versus colonic irrigation. So an enema is a way in which they would clean out the colon by just using a certain amount of liquid that's gravity fed into the colon. And it's
when
not
gravity made, so
gravity fed.
what's that like? It's
Means like it's in a bag, and then there's got a tube, and they put that tube up your bum, and then
bam.
and then this liquid will go into the bum, and it doesn't go so far into the colon. It usually goes into the rectum and the sigmoid colon and just the first parts of the colon that are there. It generally doesn't go so deep into the system with an enema. Whereas colonic irrigation is a more newer, modern style of cleaning out the colon, and they'll be flushing a larger amount of a liquid through the colon, and they'll be taking out all of what's in there. It will flush into the ascending colon, the transverse, and the descending colon. All of these will get flushed out, and it'll take out all of the toxins and feces that are in that area.
And that's in one go?
In
one treatment, I mean.
In one treatment,
Okay.
yeah. It will be flushing fluid in, and it will be flushing fluid out. So it has a double pipe.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So in colonic irrigation, they're able to feed fluid in and take fluid out at the same time.
Suck
so
it?
it keeps.
Or is...
No. Just by pushing it in,
Uh-huh.
then the other one is going to feed out.
Oh, so it's not like in natural poo, the thing coming out.
No, it doesn't.
Through the
It doesn't
tube,
naturally.
something.
Exactly, it's coming out through a tube.
So
Yeah.
I'm new to that, so I never try that as well.
Never tried the full colonic irrigation. She's tried the more Ayurvedic version, which is closer towards an enema. Yet they call it a busti, and it's a safer, less chance of aggravation. And there's a reason why colonic irrigation can be quite challenging for some people, because as we've said, the colon is the seat of Vata, and one of the qualities of Vata is dryness. And colonic irrigation tends to dry out the colon. When we think of water, we think, oh, water's wet, it's not going to be drying. Yet, if you had dry skin and you have a shower, afterwards you've stripped away the oils that are there, and the skin often ends up drier after the shower. So actually pure water is not so lubricating and moistening to tissues. Just as if we wanted to lubricate a metal part, if we used water to lubricate that metal part, let's say the joint or a hinge or something in a car, then it would start to rust quicker with that water.
Or it's like, you know, when we're thirsty and then we drink as much as water, is actually sometimes can make us even thirstier than compared to drinking coconut water.
Coconut water may be more hydrating. So with the metal part, if we used oil, the oil would lubricate the metal part and keep it moist for longer. It would protect it against aging. So inside our colon, the lining of the colon likes to have a mucousy, oily lining surrounding the colon. This is important as part of the function of the colon. So we don't necessarily want to strip away everything that's in there. Yes, we do want to get rid of some toxins in there. If you haven't been doing good bowel movements, or there's been lots of shitty foods, or just been living a fairly toxic lifestyle, then we do need to detoxify the colon. But sometimes colonic irrigation, especially with water, or as it's very common now, ozonated water, even more cleaning, more stripping away what's in there, means that they've used ozone into the water.
Okay.
So it's going to make it more stripping, more pulling away of what's inside there.
More stripping because it's actually more detoxifying.
It's more detoxifying.
But more detoxifying doesn't necessarily always mean it's good.
That's right. Vata, in fact, needs something that is more nourishing, more lubricating. It needs something that is going to make what is a dry colon or a deficient colon a lack of energy and build its resources.
You know, it's a very common thing about a coffee colonics. Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, so a coffee colonic will come under the decoction-based colonics that I was just talking about before. So it's more on the detoxifying side. Coffee's taste is bitter. Any of the bitter tastes draw downwards inside the system. They open up the liver and the gallbladder. They draw down and out. So it's a very detoxifying. It helps the liver open up. It pulls things out of the system. It can be great for heat imbalances like pitta imbalances, and especially good for kapha imbalances, damp, mucus, congestion, these things. It's stimulating to the nervous system, and you're putting this bitter, drying substance into the seat of Vata, the area where Vata lives. So it's very more likely to create a Vata imbalance than other styles of decoction-based things. So I'd be very careful about those. If there are Vata aggravations, or the body type constitution is more Vata, then I'd be very careful about coffee-based colonics.
If you're new to Ayurveda, you want to know what is your dosha, you can go to our website www.balancelife.id. In that part of the menu, you can download the Ayurvedic body type quiz, and to know if you're dominant Vata, that means you would like to be more careful about taking colonic, especially the one that is just water-based or coffee.
So when Ayurveda is doing these colonics, busties, enemas, they're generally looking at, do we need to nourish or do we need to detoxify? And in fact, most of the time they're doing a little bit of both. If they're doing a long-term panchakarma, the detoxification procedures in Ayurveda referred to as panchakarma, 5 cleansing actions, when they're doing this, they'll generally rotate back and forth between one nourishing one and one a more detoxifying one. And they'll always finish with the nourishing one. And how we can loosely define this nourishing or detoxifying is whether it's a more oil-based colonic, a more oil-based enema, or whether it's a more decoction, water-based enema. A decoction is herbs that have been boiled in liquid for a period of time.
I have a question, regarding the previous colonic irrigation, the common one. What will be the worst case scenario that might happen?
that it could aggravate vata, that afterwards you could have a lot of gas, that the lining of the colon could be easily irritated, that it could deplete the body's stored energy resources over time. I've had quite a few clients where their colon function has not returned to normal for many days, sometimes weeks. Lots of gas, lots of bloating. Even though we've detoxified, we've pulled things out, the function of vata has not returned to normal. The mind has been a little bit agitated. Now, this is not with all. You could have a great experience with colonic irrigation, yet if vata was aggravated already, it will have more chance to damage. If you're in the vata stage of life, more than 50 years old, it will also have more chance to damage. The oil is what is most needed then. So they will alternate oil decoction. They will always finish with an oil colonic. It will be the last thing because they want to nourish the function of vata towards the end. So ideally, a colonic should be individualized for you.
Just like everything in life.
Whatever liquid is put up there should be something that is specific for you. The herbs that are put inside the liquid, the oil that's chosen, all of these things should be, this is what your body needs. Not just, oh, let's just detoxify because it's good. But does your body need more nourishment or more detoxification? Does it need more nourishment in this specific tissue of the body? Then we're going to use these herbs. Does it need more detoxification in this tissue of the body? Then we're going to use this type of herbs. We really need to individualize these things to be much safer. And when it comes to colonic and enemas, as far as I know, Ayurveda invented them. I don't know of another system of medicine as old as Ayurveda that uses these. So they are the most experienced. So if you want to get one of these procedures, I would recommend seeing an Ayurvedic practitioner where they really understand the oil nourishment. They understand vata, the seat of vata, how it influences the nervous system, how that might influence your mind. Restoring the functionality of the body is more important than just getting toxins out. The function, good function of the body is what created the toxins to store in the first place. It's not just because you take in toxins, it's because the body's function is not working so efficiently, which then enables the toxins to build up. So in Ayurveda, our focus is the functionality of the body more than just pulling toxins out.
Cool. There's a question. Dion. Oh, thank you. This is the first Insta Live we have assistant. Okay. Wendy asks, why colonics is not great for everyone? We have talked about that, but can you briefly share that again?
If it's colonic irrigation, it's because the colon can get aggravated by dryness. Yet, if it is an oil-based colonic and a small amount of the right amount, it can be great for so many people. It can be used by so many people. So it can be used with a lot of people if it's the right one. Saying that, yes, we've got to look at maybe hemorrhoids or fissures or really imbalanced states of the colon. We don't want to put a tube in there,
You don't want to put a
bleeding
tube
colon.
in hemorrhoids.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. We don't want to put it where there may be hemorrhoids or fissures or cracks or bleeding from the colon. Then we still wouldn't be doing even the more gentle oil-based ones as well.
Cool.
So then I'll wrap up.
I think so. That's quick.
Yeah. It's one of those subjects where someone's like, "Oh, do I really ask a question about what to put up my bum?" Yeah. So, if you are interested, this is something that we work with during the Vitality Now program. It's a modification of an Ayurvedic Panchakarma program using part naturopathic principles, part Ayurvedic principles. It's a digestive healing focused retreat that we offer. We've usually done them at my family's property in Australia.
We'll be the last one.
This year will be the last Vitality Nows at my family's property. They'll be selling their property soon. So the first dates for that are the 22nd to the 29th of September.
Which is next week.
And then the next ones
Full,
are
sorry.
in October.
It's full.
Oh, that one's full. The October is full. It's only the September one that still has some spaces in it. We may be doing them again in the future in Bali or other parts of the world, so stay tuned for that. During that program, we first prepare the body with oily-based substances from the top. We use ghee and other lubricants, and this pulls the doshas from the places that they're trapped throughout the system. This ghee goes in and we saturate the body with these oily fats to pull the doshas across, and all of the ghee, all of the oil moves towards the liver and the gallbladder. And then from there it moves into the digestive tract. It goes liver, bile, into the gallbladder, and it gets squirted into the small intestine. Now we have the doshas ready for their elimination. So then when we do the colonics, we're much more likely to pull out more of the dosha, more of the vata from the system. And we will do an oil-based colonic, a decoction-based colonic, and then we'll follow it up with an oil-based colonic at the end as well.
So there's also the importance of not just go to colonics clinic, but also the importance of preparing your body before you pull it out.
Proper preparation means that there's far less chance towards contraindications and side effects that may go on because of a colonic. It is a detoxification procedure where we're pulling things out, and whenever we're doing that, preparation before and post procedures mean that can happen in the smoothest way with the least chance of side effects.
More info on that detox you can find out on www.balancelife.id/events, and all event updates also you can find it there.
Wonderful to share with you all.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Look forward to next time.
Maybe next week, but stay tuned.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.